Hello, this is Botman, and I'm here to give you a quick look at issue 94 of EGM. This came out in May 1997, and obviously the reason I have this is Final Fantasy VII was on the cover, and I wanted to learn more about it, even though I did not have a PlayStation during this console era. I had an N64. I never played any PlayStation games until me and my brother had got a PS2 in the year 2000, but I still wanted to, I was still interested in the Final Fantasy series from the SNES era, and I wanted to, know more about this game. I distinctly remember the first games I got when we got the PS2 were Final Fantasy VII and Chrono Cross, but let's move on from that and show you the inside of the magazine. Let's see, here we go. We just have a basketball game for the PlayStation ad. Fighters Mega Mix, that was a pretty good ad. I mean, a good game for the Saturn, a good fighting game from what I understand. It was a classic one. Alright, this is Insert Coin. It was essentially a editor's greeting, basically a place for the editor-in-chief to talk about whatever he wanted. This is written by Ed Semrad. He was, I believe, a founding member of EGM. Here he's talking about the recent PlayStation and N64 price drop to $150. So apparently they were talking about competition heating up and whatnot. Here I see an ad for a PlayStation shooter. It looks like Nanotech Warrior. All right, now this is interesting. Apparently they had a justifier for Konami for the arcade. I mean, for the PlayStation. I only thought this was on the Genesis and whatnot, but apparently they, even though the Sega CD died, FNB games were still relatively hanging in there. Apparently, we got Crypt Killer and Lethal Enforcers 1 and 2. This was for the PlayStation and Saturn, so FNB games were still somehow surviving in this era. Let's see, an ad for EGM 2 or EGM Squared. I may spotlight an issue of that once eventually. Let's see. This is an ad for a show on MSNBC, apparently the site, technology and internet show. Apparently this was something about their... Yeah, they merged with Ziff Davis, and apparently they had a stake in MSNBC or something. This is back when MSNBC was more about Microsoft and whatnot. This is a game called Codename Tanka for the PlayStations. Can't say I heard of that one. Made by Signosis, or however you pronounce it. This is the contents. Let's see, they spotlight some arcade games. The Tokyo Toy Show, apparently that must be the Tokyo Game Show, I'm not sure. Let's see. And the main cover story is obviously Final Fantasy VII, we'll get to that. Hexen for the N64 ad. This is the press start, where they go into the big stories of the month. The big story right now is rumors about the Sony and N64 dropping price, and let's see, and on the right here you can see the new Gamecom, which was a system by Tiger Electronics. Gamester81 could tell you more about that. I'll get into more about Gamester81 and how he inspired me to do these videos. Let's see, Virtua Fighter 3, it has a built-in touchscreen with Solitaire. Duke Nukem got a port. And let's see, tidbits. We got let's see, their Game Boy Pocket getting some new color schemes and a lower price at $55. Electronic Arts. Let's see, some kind of feud with Accolade, which was a offshoot of Activision. Let's move on. Let's see, apparently they got a light gun for the PlayStation with a attachable laser sight. That's interesting. Let's see, some more tidbit. And nothing too interesting in there. Got an ad for a third-party PlayStation controller. This is interesting right here. Clay Fighter 63 and a third. I own the Sculptor's Cut edition, but this is apparently a, they've always done, like, parodies of various fighting games. I remember one time, let's see. Yeah, this is a parody of Mortal Kombat Trilogy. Ads for earlier games in the series were parodies of other print Mortal Kombat ads. This is a particular ad of a parody of Mortal Kombat Trilogy. Alright, on the left here we have, let's see, yeah, it's a 64DD add-on. Alright, here they're talking about Mortal Kombat Annihilation, the infamous sequel to Mortal Kombat. Here's an ad for Dynasty Warriors, the original Dynasty Warriors, which I believe they're covering in this magazine, but the first Dynasty Warriors game in the series was actually a one-on-one fighter, rather than the beat-em-up that we know today. Let's see. They're advertising a internal PlayStation Club here. Let's see, updates to the Capcom website. Right, and this was back when there were still rumors that the 64DD would have its own version of Zelda 64. This was before the whole DD thing went through. Let's see, Wing Commander 4 for the PlayStation ad. These are basically, on the right we have games that are coming soon. On the left we have picks of the month. Let's see how they did here. Mario Kart 64 #1. Then we got Blast Corps, Street Fighter Alpha 2 for the Saturn. Soccer game, Tetris Attack, SNES game still hanging on in there somehow. Let's see. Now, these are based on, what are they based on? Review scores? Rankings? Oh, it's based on what the crew themselves were playing. Alright, so we got Tetris Attack, Soul Blade for the PlayStation, not bad. That was the original game in the Soul Calibur series. Doom 64. Let's see. I think they meant Ridge Racer. Scud for the Sega Saturn. I've heard good things about that comic. Let's see. PlayStation. A soccer game was #1 on the PlayStation. That's interesting. Tekken 2, Wing Commander 4. This was really before the PlayStation found their niche. Street Fighter Alpha 2 on the Saturn is #1, and Saturn was always better at 2D fighters than the PlayStation, from what I understand. Let's see, Blast Corps, Wave Race, Super Mario, MK Trilogy, Shadows of the Empire on the Nintendo 64, and on the right we got coming soon there. See, this is an ad for Blast Corps for the the Nintendo 64, and I believe they are covering that in this issue as well. Alright, this is the Quarterman, the Quarterman's column. The Quarterman was essentially gossip, gaming gossip, rumors, and basically you know, goings on, predictions and whatnot in the gaming industry. Let's see if he's let's see. Shooters from Working Designs. Yes, I believe Radiant Silvergun was released by Working Designs, and that recently got released on Xbox Live Arcade and the PSN, actually. They were talking about the M2, the failed 3DO follow-up. Let's see, PlayStation gets a popular PC RPG. What's that about? There's too much text in here. I shouldn't waste too much time on that. Yeah, we got an ad for Doom 64 on the other side. Yeah, no, don't bother with that. Battle Arena Toshinden 3. Wait, they really pumped out the sequels, since the Toshinden is apparently, yeah, that was one of the launch titles for the PlayStation, if I'm not mistaken, and they were on the third one only a few years into its life. And here we got a preview for Mission Impossible on the N64. I rented that game once. apparently I was hoping it would be more like GoldenEye, but it wasn't. It was decent for what it was. Third-person shooter. Not a shooter, but, third-person stealth game. Alright, Last Bronx for the Saturn. Albert Odyssey for the Saturn. This was, published in America by Working Designs. It was a 2D RPG. Apparently it was based on a port of a Genesis version that was never released in America, but came out eventually thanks to fan translators. So yeah, certainly something to look into if you have a Saturn. Working Designs always had good games. Let's see, Light Dark Conflict, Hexen 2 for the PlayStation. Race Storm, Moto Racer GP. Ad for like some kind of BMX game. Okay, you got Spawn for the PlayStation. Let's see, Tale of the Sun. And a baseball game for the PlayStation. More baseball. Vandal Hearts for the PlayStation. I believe I may have heard of this game. Some kind of RPG. Actually, yeah. Let's see, isometric. I've certainly heard of that game before. Let's see, Harvest Moon for the SNES. So, yeah, SNES was still kicking around in '97. Interesting. Didn't realize it lasted that long. The Lost Vikings by Blizzard. One of their earlier games before they got into Warcraft and Starcraft and Diablo and whatnot. Let's see, Suicide Run for the PlayStation. Haven't really heard of that one. More baseball. Tecmo's Deception. I have heard of that one from, like, ads. Alright, here's where we get into the reviews. We got, Sean... Let's see, I don't know. Dan Shu, EGM alumni there. Crispin Boyer, another alumni. And, of course, the mysterious Sushi X. They basically copied the Famitsu scoring system. 4 people give it a score from 1 out of 10. And the game of the month for this month is Blast Core with a 9.0, two 9.0s and two 8.5s. It was a cult classic by Rare, one of their lesser-known titles, but certainly fairly good. I rented it a couple times, and of course, the biggest obstacle in that game was the controls. Doom 64 got an 8, a 6, and 2 more 8s. Yeah, it was essentially the Doom port for the Nintendo 64. We got Scud for the Sega Saturn, based on some kind of underground black and white comic. Non-mainstream, at least. Above average scores there. Scorcher for the Sega Saturn, pretty bad score from Sushi X, a racing game apparently. Basically, Scud was like these line of disposable assassins, and they explode after they kill their target. So apparently, this one Scud unit didn't want to die, so he's keeping the target he was supposed to kill on life support. And now he has to, pay various bounties to keep the bills coming in to pay for the life support. So that's a fairly interesting premise. I would certainly try giving comics a try if you can find them. This is an ad for Overblood for the PlayStation and PC, maybe? I don't know. It's a 3D adventure, so WCW vs. The World. This was the predecessor to WCW vs. NWO World Tour. Got Wing Commander 4 for the PlayStation. Let's see. I don't know if I have a 15-minute time limit, so I'm just going to try to hurry through here. Lost Vikings, above average. Tricks of the Trade, basically the code section. Yeah, Donkey Kong Country 3, so this was very late in the life of the SNES. Command and Conquer. It was one of the very first mainstream RTS games. MDK, heard good things about that. Shiny Tekken 3. This is a special feature of the arcade edition, I believe. They're going over the characters. Here we got Darkstalkers. Jet is damn. Let's see. This was Darkstalkers 3. Yeah, so the third game in the Darkstalkers series. Going over the new characters. Mech Warrior 2 from Activision. Battle Circuit, can't say I'm familiar with that one. Street Fighter 3, apparently they're info on the new final boss, which was Gil. An ad for Persona on the PlayStation, that's interesting. Apparently since, since the popularity that Persona 3 and 4 has gotten, it's interesting to see the relatively limited release that Persona 1 had on the original PlayStation. And let's see, basketball, Amusement International Showcase. This is like an arcade expo. Let's see, Samurai Showdown 64. I don't know, maybe they meant the 3D Neo Geo, whatever that was called. The Tokyo Toy Show. Gundam game, apparently. Let's see. Yes, these were PlayStation, and apparently, okay, we got a Gundam game. I don't know if this is the same Gundam that we may have gotten as Gundam Battle Assault here in the U.S. after the popularity of Wing. Let's see, Swagman, some kind of adventure game from IDOS, I believe. Dragon Ball GT Final Bout, interesting. That game was extremely hard to find once DBZ's popularity blew up in the early 2000s until they re-released it. Here we go, the Final Fantasy VII issue. They're apparently interviewing the American localization team for this. Yeah, this is just an interview with the localization team. This is just coverage of the English version. And they were still working on the translation, but the game itself was finished and out in Japan at this point, I believe. Some kind of submarine game from the makers of Twisted Metal, it looks like. Let's see, War Gods, and apparently a Jurassic Park 2 Lost World poster from EGM. Activision Star Search. Here's the thing about Swagman. Let's see what this is. Action-adventure game from IDOS. Here's a preview of the Dynasty Warriors game. The first one, the one-on-one fighter. Overblood, some kind of sci-fi adventure game. Battle Stations, my battleship boat style game. Fighting Force, a 3D Final Fight done right. Xevious 3D, and I didn't know of this. What system? For the PlayStation. Apparently this didn't do too well. It was released by Namco. Kind of a remake of the original classic arcade Xevious. Got a Lost World 2 Jurassic Park game for the PlayStation. I think I tried that once in a Toys R Us demo display, I'm not sure. Yeah, I think I did. Real Bout Fatal Fury Special for the Neo Geo. Another in the Fatal Fury series. I believe that was the last game in the Real Bout series. A bunch of sports games here, not really my forte, so I'm just gonna skip by those really fast. Yeah, racing games, Rage Racer, so apparently it is a spin-off of Ridge Racer. 2 9.0s, not bad. Here we have the letter section. Let's see, why did Capcom decide to only include Ken and Ryu in Street Fighter 3? Apparently this person wanted Sakura and Chun-Li, and they're like, Sailor Moon fan longing for Sakura and Chun-Li? Go figure. But yeah, that was a controversial decision of having only 2 returning characters come back. Let's see, Mortal Kombat Trilogy. EGM editor's favorite puzzle games. Toki Memo Puzzle for the PlayStation and Saturn. Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. Kirby's Mean Bean, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine and Kirby's Avalanche. Number 2, Tetris for the NES. And number 1, Tetris Attack for the Super NES. Alright, Leather of the Month here. Let's see. Something about violence and the recent trend of having blood in games. Apparently this guy is complaining about the recent violence. Must be a fan of Nintendo or something. Let's see, Mario 64. Yeah, basically he's complaining about violence instead of good gameplay. Here we have letter art. We got Mortal Kombat 4. A lot of these guys were into anime, and apparently, yeah, they were drawing Dragon Ball Z and Yu Yu Hakusho and, you know, stuff from shows like that before they truly became mainstream popular in America. So these people were more on the ball about Japan culture than people would realize at the time. This is basically showing the next month for EGM and EGM2 or EGM Squared, or however you want to call it, their spin-off magazine. We got coverage for the PlayStation, and coverage of the new Street Fighter 3, which was coming out on EGM Squared. Basically a bunch of game distributors in the back. An ad for the Game Shark, and on the back cover, an ad for Die Hard Arcade for the Sega Saturn. Now, the reason I am doing these videos now is I recently took a look underneath my bed and saw I had a lot of old magazines like these, and you know, I just didn't want them sitting there, so I decided to take a page from John Gamester81's book and try to you know, take a look at these like he looks at old Nintendo powers, and I hope you've enjoyed this, and you know, I'll try to get a tripod for here, maybe fix the lightning, fix some of the glare in here, but you know, hopefully you found this interesting, and you know, give me any sort of feedback you want in the comments, and see if I can improve over time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. I won't be doing these in a particular order, so it'll be probably a different issue of a different magazine next time. But so you enjoy, comment, and you know, tell me what you think of this attempt. Thank you, and goodbye.